Welcome to Boxing on the Record with Randy and Chi-Town. Chi-Town, what's going on with you? What you got on your mind? You want to get it off and put it on the record?
Randy, first, I always have to start with I am totally appreciative of you. And in fact, I got a text message from Peanut a few minutes ago that he thanked me for getting you off of watching Columbo just now so that we could make this video. Somehow that was important to Peanut. So hey, I got your back. This is what we do. This is what we do. Yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
you, appreciate you.
Yeah,
Yes,
nevertheless, I
sir.
do want to give a special acknowledgement, honor, praise to one of YouTube's best boxing commentators. Outstanding gentleman, Kurt Sugar Anderson, who passed away a few years ago. But his birthday is October the 5th, and just wanted to acknowledge him and pray that all that we do is brings honor to his name. You know, Randy, as I was just, perusing the internet, I hear these different things, and I saw different posts about Turkey Al-Sheikh, potentially putting together like a mini tournament and in the middleweight division, sort of like what we had years ago in the mid 2000s, where with this
So,
one it's going to have Bud going down to 160, fighting against Carlos Adames for his belt. I can't remember which belt he has just now. But then Laura will be fighting Jennebeck. Jennebeck, I think, has three belts or two belts, and then Laura has the other one. I can't remember what his belt is either. And then the winner of each fight will fight each other, and then that will be the only champion at middleweight. Another chance to be undisputed for Bud, which is something that I'm obviously for, and we have never seen. We couldn't even. I mean, this really goes past that history mark. Forget the four belt era. Just being able to do something like this is amazing. Now, I have to be clear. Henry Armstrong did it where he was like the only champion in three divisions, and he was fighting everybody, in those divisions, going up and going down and everything. But I'm speaking more specifically about a person, having every single last belt, you know, um, in these various divisions and fighting against the other cats who have the belts in that division, who are considered to be the best in that division. This is something I fully support. This is something that I want. It's a long time coming. And the biggest thing is all of these guys are in their 30s. And so it makes sense. It's good because everybody could be slowing down. As you know, from my medical side, we do have fast twitch muscle fibers that do have an expiration date on them. But we also do have another set of muscle fibers that are more what we consider the slow twitch or regular type of muscle fibers. And those are the ones that actually pretty much dominate and take over for the rest of our lives after the fast twitch ones are gone. The fast twitch ones are the ones that aid to that quick step, that quick thing that you're trying to do in football, basketball, boxing, all that stuff. And as we, age, we start seeing, we always say a person loses their step. They lose that. What we're actually saying is that very first quick burst step is fading away now. And so when you're thinking about this in the boxing terms, it's more realistic that everybody that's going to be in this tournament has lost that first step, if you will. And so it's more of an even kind of playing field for all of them. Um, and we know Lara is not in his 30s. He's probably 85 years old. Who knows? But, he still has talent. So this is something I would definitely be into. And I would like to see this, man. Talk to me, Randy. What do you think?
yeah, I definitely would too. It's perfect timing. Excuse me. It's perfect timing. And I would like to see Bud take advantage of the situation. But I know we're gonna have a lot of critics and people saying that Bud didn't have to do this to get where he got to and all this whole hoopla. But then nobody says that when Canelo move around and take belts. Nobody says that when their favorite fighter move around and take belts. So I just think it's a perfect opportunity. Um, I don't see nothing wrong with it. I'm looking forward to it if it is gonna happen. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, Randy. I mean, I'm 100% with you. And I just had to kind of do a quick memory recall. And so Adamas has the WBC middleweight belt. Janabek has the WBO and IBF belt, and then Lara has the WBA. He's kind of been with that WBA for, I think since he was at 154. But nevertheless, Lara has the WBA belt. So what Bud going from 68 back down. I don't want him to go to 54. I do not want him to do that. But going to 60, it's still, I mean, coming down, you got to come down the right way. That's the key. You really do have to come down the right way. But I think it would be just enough for him to fight against these the different guys. And I know after he won against Canelo, one of the very first people to call him out was Janabek, that night, who's the 106-pound champ. But again, we always said that now that Bud is like the so-called it man at that exact time, when he beat Canelo, everybody's gonna be trying to come to him. Everybody's gonna be like, "Hey, let's fight, because he's not a true 168 pounder. Everyone knows that he's a smaller guy. But his skill, his technique is what wins the day for him in those type of divisions. Going down some, makes it a lot more competitive for those guys, who may not be as technically sound to fight against someone at 54 or 47, but good enough, sound enough to be competitive at 60 and to have a championship title at 60. And I've said this before, Laura beat Canelo when they fought at 154 over there. But Laura, he's just, his career he's just had issues through his career. But Laura was definitely the second coming of Mayweather. Laura has all kinds of skills. Laura is mad dope, but unfortunately his age has gotten to him and his inactivity and just several things got to him. And so he's not the same Laura. However, if this was a prime Laura fighting against, maybe a prime Bud and everything, I have to say that I would have Laura probably winning the entire tournament, because Laura is that type to me. He's an and Bud is a dope fighter as well. But Laura does a lot of those in honor of Kurt Sugar. He does a lot of those intangibles, or he has those intangibles uh, um, um, in his previous days, that really set him apart from others. When he had that quote unquote rhythmic perpetual motion. But I also will say that Kurt Sugarman, blessed memory, also was really high on Bud. Felt Bud was literally the best person that boxing has seen since the 60s. And he would just dominate everyone. Bud is doing that. Bud is showing that. And so, yeah, I'm really excited for this. And I hope it does happen. And I want Turkey to do this. And I actually would like for Turkey to do this in pretty much every division, so that we can have one champion, one face, one name. It won't be all this in betweens and all these foolish fighters talking about what is so and so done. So and so ain't got nothing. And who has he fought? And this back and forth banter that allow people to try to argue foolishness on YouTube. No, we're about the sport, and we look at everything from the sport perspective. I myself obviously look at it from a more technical perspective. I'm looking at specific things that boxers do from a technical angle, and I'm comparing them to other boxers in a technical angle. However, I still love the sport, and I don't allow my technical eye to overshadow, what I'm seeing in the ring. My technical eye just helps me with predictions, but what I'm literally seeing in the ring is what I report on and what I speak about. Talk to me, Randy.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Um, I heard you say something that stuck out to me. You was talking about Laura and his age, and you think he would have did better against those guys if he was younger. You think he would have took it off. How do you feel about Crawford now at the age of 38, going into a situation like this? How do you think he would do, and how you think he's gonna do? I
Yeah, I
mean,
think
we
that's a
think he's
very good.
gonna win, think he's winning, but how do you think it's gonna finish?
No, excellent question, Randy. Thank you so much. And I obviously do have Crawford winning all of these, winning the entire thing. And one of the biggest things is because Crawford has outshined everyone that he's been in the ring with. Probably the closest he's come to being touched up, like literally touched up, was the Madrimal fight and the when he fought against oh gosh,
Name
little Mike
machine,
Tyson. Uh,
Gamboa,
at, at 140 pounds, I'm sorry, 135 pounds. My Cuban guy,
Gamboa, what?
Gamboa,
Gamboa.
absolutely, yeah, yeah, and it shows you how fatigued I am. Maybe I got Columbo going
It's
on in the
okay. It's
background. I need to
okay.
shut Columbo off. It's affecting
We all forget. We
right.
all forget.
Yes, yes. But no, I would say that. And then Canelo did catch him a couple times, but not significantly, in my opinion. He may hit him clean like 3 or 4 punches, but I would say someone that was more consistent would have been at 54 or Gamboa at 135 pounds. So I'm saying all that to say that Crawford hasn't really taken any heat, any punishment, been in any wars in his fights. He just really outclassed and beat everyone. So the only thing for him at 38 that is affecting him would be just those fast twitch muscles going away, some of him slowing down a bit. But he doesn't have things that speed up those the decay of those fast twitch muscles, like someone who's constantly been fighting in wars. They're constantly getting punched. They're getting punched on the arms. They're getting punched here. They're getting punched there. Your body has to repair whatever that damaged tissue was at that particular time, and your body constantly repairing that can speed up the decline of certain aspects of muscle fibers. Carwford hasn't gone through that at all, so he still has somewhat of fresh muscle fibers. It's just literally just age that's setting in, and which makes him a lot different than others within the tournament. So yeah, I think if Crawford at the age of 38 was fighting against somebody at 21 in this type of tournament, it could be an issue, but fighting against other cats in their 30s, no, I think it's the right seasoning for him, I really do. Talk to me.
Well, I definitely agree with you. I think I'm gonna speak on something that a lot of people ain't talking about and they haven't mentioned, but I think dealing with Crawford is one of those situations where people don't understand how much farther he was ahead of the competition until right now at 38 he's finally getting to where where he's in the same category with the competition because he had left him so far till now he's 38 and some of these guys are younger or even older and even the younger ones can't really just blow him out because the ability and skill that he had that a lot of us missed is causing him to actually probably be on their level at 36, 37 to 40 as the ones that are in their early to mid 30s. So I like it for Crawford, and I like the fact that he's still able to get out there and do his thing with them. And you mentioned that he haven't been in a whole lot of wars, and when we talk about that, I'm always drawn back to Canelo, and it always makes me mad and sad when people talk about Canelo is much older than Crawford because he's been in all these wars and Crawford haven't been in the wars. Neither fighter has taken a lot of punishment. And I ask people this all the time if Canelo has been in all these wars. And I'm not trying to get on Canelo because the video is not about Canelo, but if Canelo has been in all these wars, tell me what fights that Canelo actually had to struggle with. And he only had to struggle with two or three of them. He struggled with the Triple G. He struggled with Bivol and he might have struggled one or two more. I can't call them off the top of my head, but he haven't had a lot of struggle. So where are the wars and the beating and the banging and all that that Canelo has suffered? So even with Crawford haven't took a whole lot of punishment because he was so much farther and so much better than the rest of the guys. And we as fans, and when I say we, I'm not just talking as us in specific. I'm talking about us fans in general. But we as fans, we hated Crawford so much until we didn't get a chance to appreciate and understand and view his greatness because the hatred that we had for him overshadowed that. So now he's even still proving it, and we still hate him so much until we don't even want to see it. We just still trying to still use that hatred for Crawford, and he's still proving us wrong. Not us in particular, because we was always Crawford fans. Let me get that right. We was always Crawford fans, but you may see a video where we talked about we like Earl, and it may have seemed like we didn't like Crawford, but we still like the Crawford. But even if you're a fan of somebody, when they fighting the fighter that you like, you gonna pick the fighter that you like. And at the time, Earl was the fighter that we liked, so we picked Earl. So once Earl got defeated by Crawford, we didn't stay on the bandwagon of everybody else and keep running the smear campaign and the hate speeches about Crawford. We embrace Crawford, and it's not that we jumping the bandwagon, however you want to put that. It's just the fact that we're fans of boxing. We're not fans of boxers, and a lot of people out here say, "You got to keep it real. You got to be with your fighter, win, lose, or draw, ride till the wheels fall off." Yeah, I get that, but what have Earl did for us lately? If we're gonna follow Earl, Earl haven't did anything in 2 years. So you mean to tell me I can't root for Crawford because Earl is not Earl is been missing for 2 years? I mean, like I said, man, I like this tournament. I like Crawford in this tournament. Uh, Everything is lining up for Crawford to make even more history. And I hope, like you said, Turkey get this tournament going and give Crawford an opportunity to um to make history once more again and to set itself up there where to be a long time before someone is able to break this record. And I would say that sometimes we only get one shot in life, and we have to take advantage of that. And I think this is his shot to do that. Heck, I wouldn't even be mad if he came off of this tournament. And I know I'm reaching, and I'm gonna let you have it after this because I always go too far and stick my foot in my mouth. But I wouldn't care if he came off of this tournament and somehow some miracle way that 154 lined up for him so he can go down there and have two more fights, and then he will be 140, 47, 54, 60, and 68. So that's how I feel about it.
Randy, definitely agree with you. Excellent points, all the way up to the end, of course. And I pray that you getting too happy didn't lose any subs. I pray, and I'm gonna be praying every day for the next couple of days so that didn't happen. Damn it, Randy. But no, I mean, yeah, everything you speak is truth, and this is what makes it beautiful to be a fan of the sport as opposed to a particular fighter. Exactly like you said, we have never not been Bud fans. We've always been Bud fans. Here's the key thing: when you're a fan of the sport, you're able to criticize a fighter that you may really like, who you consider your favorite fighter. And like you said, with the EJ fight, all these things, regardless of who picked whom and everything, all we did was just criticize Bud going into that fight. Did not mean we were not Bud fans. Did not mean we liked EJ more than Bud. And everything. We had to base it off of our actual understanding of boxing and what we have seen in the ring from the different boxers, and then make an opinion based off of that. But it did not mean we loved or hated either of the fighters. So that was a very good point that you brought up. Excellent point you brought up. And when you're a true fan, a true lover of the sport, you're able to do this type of thing. You're mature enough to go beyond these emotions and all these things and look at everything from a critical eye. Because that's just what it is, man. I mean, once all these cats that we claim are our favorite fighters, once all these cats are gone, boxing is still going to be there. Who you going to like then? What you going to do then? You're going to fall away too. So we follow the sport.
All right, we're out of here like last year.
Peace.